This is concept 31.1 of your online book titled Infectious Diseases Are Caused by Pathogens. Between 1345 and 1350 CE, Common Era, approximately 25 million people, 1 out of 4, in Europe died from a disease called the plague. Many people at the time believed the disease was caused by breathing bad-smelling air. Because of this, some treatments including burning pleasant-smelling incense. Not surprisingly, this method did little to combat the disease, which is actually caused by a bacteria carried by rats. Knowing the real cause of a disease helps scientists develop useful methods of prevention and cures. The germ theory of disease. Today, scientists know more about pathogens. What are pathogens? They're disease-causing organisms or viruses. So they can be bacteria or they can be viruses. Any of those disease-causing organisms are called pathogens. Pathogens may include bacteria, protozoans, which are unicellular organisms, fungi, worms, and viruses. Diseases that are caused by pathogens are known as infectious diseases. Figure 31.1 shows examples of infectious diseases. The disease of the athlete's foot has a particular pathogen, which is a fungus, and the way that it can be transmitted is through physical contact with fungus on shoes, floors, etc. Trichinosis, which is also a disease, is caused by a worm, Trichinella spiralis, and it is transmitted through eating undercooked pork. The common cold, things that we get all the time, is caused by a pathogen, which is a virus, a rhinovirus, and it is transmitted through physical contact, inhalation of airborne droplets, so droplets that can be transmitted through the air that causes you to contract to get this pathogen and get this cold. African sleeping illness is a disease that can be caused by a unicellular organism called trypanosoma, and it is transmitted through bites of the tsetse fly. Lyme disease is also a disease that can be caused by a bacteria, and it can be transmitted through the bite of an infected tick. Transmission of infectious disease. Once the cause of an infectious disease is determined, the next step in controlling the disease is to understand how it is transmitted. Some diseases are transmitted when airborne pathogens are inhaled. So pathogens or disease-causing organisms that are able to be transmitted through the air. Okay, those are airborne pathogens. Some are transmitted by physical contact, such as a handshake. For example, a virus can be transferred from an infected person's hand to your hand. If you then touch your nose, mouth, or eyes, you can transfer the virus to your mucous membranes. So membranes inside your body that have mucus, like your respiratory system. These mucous membranes are ideal locations for the virus to invade cells and multiply. Other diseases are transmitted through contaminated water or food. Some are passed along by sexual contact. In other cases, an animal acts as an agent to transmit the disease or a carrier of the disease. For example, deer ticks, the name of these deer ticks are called black-legged ticks, can transmit the bacteria that causes Lyme disease to humans. Lyme disease is a disease that causes fatigue, joint and muscle pain, and nerve tissue damage. Ticks feed by penetrating the skin, so they bite your skin of the human host, and slowly taking in blood. When A tick infected with this bacteria, Borrelia burgdorferi, this is the bacteria that causes Lyme disease, bites a human, the bacteria can be transferred. Lyme disease can be treated with antibiotics if caught early.